I know what you're thinking. Red is power. Haven't you already reviewed this action figure? Yes, I have. It's the previous video review on this channel. Transformers The Last Night Voyager Decepticon Nitro Zues. He's a pretty cool robot, pretty cool jet mode, but the transformation is quite the hassle. But here's the thing. I've shown off how to transform the action figure, unfortunately, from his jet mode to his robot mode, which is not the way this figure is actually received. In box, he's actually in this mode, his robot mode. So, it's very difficult to find any videos on YouTube showcasing how to transform this Transformer from his robot mode to jet mode as it's meant to be on the instructions. And with the instructions guidance, it's really it's misleading. That's the way to put it. The best way to put it. The instructions are garbage. I'm gonna go ahead and put my name in the hat, so you're welcome. If I take my time on this, maybe, just maybe, it won't come apart on me. So let's do this. Yeah, this is also to make up for that terrible video review on this guy. So just pay attention to what I do, and if I don't even talk about it, then just go by what I'm doing, okay? So there, plain and simple. There we go. Get that clicked in place. And I'm gonna go ahead and remove these by holding down the thrusters, so it, you know, the missiles are pretty tight, and yes, they will take the thrusters with them if you're not careful. So there. Now that we got that out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and work with the wings. So there is actually a way to keep these thrusters on part of the transformation, just as long as you are very careful here. So what I do, which is not showcased on the instructions, is that you untab the tip of the wing here and hold on to the thruster, and you're gonna lift up on it just a little bit to get enough clearance to have it untabbed here, and that should bring it out no problem, like so. Go ahead and fold that down, and we're pretty much done here. We don't have to worry about the thrusters coming off anymore, unless this one comes off. So anyway, same thing. Basically, untab that, grab the thruster, gently lift it up just a little bit to get enough clearance to have it untab, get all that lined out, tap that in, and there are the wings. So with that out of the way, next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to work here. Fold up the feet like that, rotate, rotate. We're done here. Next step. This is the hard part. Rotate the head like so, and then try your best to keep it tabbed in while you're lifting up. Or maybe it'd be easier if I actually bring this out just a little bit. So now I've got two things to grab, right here and here. And there we go, hinged up just fine. Didn't have a problem with the head coming off. So there, that saves me some trouble. Alright, untab the crotch piece if it hasn't already, because again, it is painful. Over here, let's go ahead and finish up the front portion of the jet. Get all this lined up. And tab everything, make it flush. There we go. Alright, now for this leg portion, right here, flip it up on this hinge right here, so you got enough clearance to bring the whole section here. Once you untab it, actually, it is on a very tight tab, but once you get it untabbed, fold out on this hinge, rotate it down. There we go. Let's leave that be for now. Let's take this arm here, bring it up a couple clicks, like so. Make sure that this shoulder pad here actually goes right around this area. So that's how you know whether or not you got the transformation right. Rotate this way. So now that that's flush, let's go ahead and bring this out so we got more room to work here. And I'm going to go ahead and fold the wings just a little bit so I can untab the back tail section and bring it up so it's just out of the way. So we're done with that. rotate the cockpit section of the jet, and you're going to want to go ahead and if you get this all aligned just right, you should be able to get this tab in flush by pushing this portion in right here. Right here, I'll show it again. This hinge joint, how it sticks out like this, you want to have that pushed in. So that gives enough room to actually get this section here to tab in place. Pretty tight. It will come undone, but at least now that's out of the way. Okay, so before I lose my chain of thought, I gotta remember where exactly I am here. So, oh yeah, bring this down so you can see what I'm doing. Bring that back down on the hinge. Flip up the leg. Bring this back down. Flip up the leg. Now that we got that, we're pretty much getting the jet here. Pretty much. Make sure that's tabbed in. It doesn't stay tabbed in, but it does help. Alright, now, here comes the next tricky part. Once you got all this lined up, there's a tab here, right here. It's going to go into the slot right here, right where my finger's pointing at. And then there's also this slot right here, that's actually going to tab in right here at the thruster. And this is easier said than done because this is also multitasking, because you also have to keep the crotch piece to his legs straight forward while you're pulling back on these legs here. So grip them if you can from the front like so. Try not to untab the front section of the jet. And at the same time, bring this in, and you might want to go ahead and tab the front portion in first before you work with the back section here. So like so. Hopefully you got enough room to see this. Next, I'm going to go ahead and tab in the foot to the thruster. Not easy to do with one hand, but I'll try anyway. Push it all in. Make sure it's flush, and it should hold pretty tight. And as you can see, it came undone, but don't worry about it. We'll come back to that in just a minute. Flip up the wing so it's out of the way. Do the same thing on this side here. When you get one, it is a little tricky to get the other, but it should accommodate the same method just fine, like so. Kind of push like so. No, I don't have it. This part came undone again. Again, a chore. Let me untab this and try this front part again. Right here, get that to tap in if you can. Now that that's clicked in place, let's try and get the foot again tabbed into the thruster and push on both of them. That helps align it just right, dead center. And when that's all said and done, go ahead and get the wings out of the way so you can bring the rest of the tail of the jet up and tab it into place, because there's a tab in there that will go into the slot, and it keeps it pretty secured. As you can see, it's not going anywhere. And we're almost there. Let's go ahead and get this back on. Tab back in place like so. Okay, so the last step is working with the wings. Flip up the panel here. Do the same on this side, just get it out of the way. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and tab in the missile, so I might have to put this down for a moment so I can do this. Just go ahead and tab them in. It makes the job a lot easier. So you don't have to worry about trying to tab these in, which are very difficult when you got the jet fully assembled. So we've got something going here. We're almost there. Next thing is to bring this down on the hinge, and there's going to be this tab here that's going to go into this slot here, and there's also a tab right here that's going to go into this hole right here, and back here there's actually a tab that's going to go right here into this slot right there. So it's like triple the tabs. It's very tricky at first, but I mean, once you get the hang of it, you'll know what to do. What I do is I hold down on this tab right here. I want to get this front one tabbed in first and foremost. So if I can see what I'm doing here on the camera's actually in front of me, so obviously this is not going to be easy. So now that I got that tabbed in place, work with the middle one, get that to tab in. You'll hear it click in just fine. Get this back one to tab in, and that should pretty much secure the wing. Let's do the same thing on this side so we can wrap this up. So make sure the hinge is down all the way. You'll know. Tab in from the front, tab it in from the middle, and then work your way to the back. And the last thing to do is to fold out the landing gear. And there we go. Okay, so that's the transformation into jet mode. Again, it's very tricky. Hard at first, maybe a couple times after that, but when you really mess around with this figure for quite some time, you do finally get the hang of things. You realize what goes where, and after a while, it gets much easier. I'm sure when I give this like a couple weeks of look at, I'll be a professional at the way of transforming this figure, but hopefully this does help you guys out. So yeah, he is loaded with kibble at the bottom. You can definitely tell he's a robot in disguise, as it's meant to be, so there's no hiding that. And I will go ahead and show off the feature of opening up the cockpit and putting a Titan Master in there, because that's the gimmick. But again, just like last video, I don't have a Titan Master, so I'll just go ahead and take off his head, which is meant to be a Titan Master, just it never came into fruition, but that should work just fine, right? I mean, should. Well, it is in there. I can't close the cockpit because obviously his earpieces are in the way, but yeah, you get the idea. And there's not much else to say about this, so I'm pretty much done here. Thank you very much for watching this. If this helped you, hit the thumbs up button. If it didn't help you, hit the thumbs down button. I'll try again another time, maybe with another difficult Transformer toy to transform in a certain way. Until then, this is your King Rez Power signing out, saying stay tuned for more Transformers The Last Night action figures, and I will see you whenever you see me.